Hi everyone, my name is Jenna and welcome to my channel Divine Direction. In this video, I'm going to be reading the messages for the sign of Libra. So Libra, what we're talking about in your spread today is having a change in mentality, a shift if you will, okay? A shift from all the things that maybe we have beaten ourselves up about or viewing things in a negative light, and shifting it into a positive and using that energy for good, okay? And I will explain. So one of the cards that came up is marriage. And this is one thing that I've beaten myself up about for years. I'm 35. I thought by 25 I'd be married and starting to have kids. And 10 years later, I don't have any of that. And I used to beat myself up about it and think, you know, Jenna, you're a loser and nobody wants to marry you, you know, you're unlovable, etc., etc. I told myself all the horrible things that if I heard somebody else saying that to themselves or if somebody said that to me, I'd be quite pissed, to be honest. But that was the story that I was telling myself, okay? There's also imagery of a house. That is my ultimate goal right now, is to get a house and to have a family. But right now I currently reside in my parents' place at 35, and I know a lot of people will judge me for that. I judge myself even harder than anyone else ever could for that. I beat myself up about that all the time. And now I kind of view it in a different way. So I am working towards having that financial stability and freedom and working towards being able to afford that house that I want, right? I'm not focusing on me not having the house, so we're not focusing on lack anymore, Libra. We're focusing on what we're working towards. There we go. So living with my parents and beating myself up about it, you know what, I chose to think, all right, Jenna, you've got a nice warm bed, you have all of these wonderful things, and a lot of people don't have that, right? So I'm very, very lucky to be able to stay at my parents because not everybody has that luxury either after setbacks. And I also like to view it as I get to spend more time with my parents because, not to be morbid, but eventually, unfortunately, both of them will pass on. So I just view this as having extra time to get to know them in my adult life, okay? You know, some people might think that's stupid. That's okay because I don't. So I'm choosing to see the positives in the circumstances that I used to beat myself up for, right? So my guides say this a lot where, you know, if something negative has happened in our lives, whether it's in the past or maybe even currently, trying to find the positives from it. So, for example, if we ended a relationship, you know, what did you learn from it? What positives came out of it? For some of you, if you had children with the person, obviously your children would be positive. In the cases of maybe other types of relationships, romantic relationships, where you didn't have children, maybe they taught you what you didn't want, which helped you figure out what you do want, you know what I mean? So really changing that focus. But my guides want me to go back to us beating ourselves up about not having things, or for us and our circumstances being what we don't want them to be, right? So what do we do in that situation, Libra? You know, it takes a lot of effort and energy for us to beat ourselves up. It honestly does. I know from experience, unfortunately, but I'm laughing about it now because, I'm choosing to look at it in a positive way that I learned that lesson, right? But I used to be honestly really god-awful to myself. Really badly, and I'm sure that a lot of people can relate. And my guides are saying, you know what, the energy that you use to beat yourself up, that energy that you've used to, to wish that you were somewhere else, that's energy that you could actually use to put towards attaining the life that you want. So if you're not happy with where you're at, where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? Let's not dwell on, oh God, I live with my parents. Oh God, I don't have my own house. Oh God, I'm not married. I'm not working the job that I want. There's so many different things that this could be, right? Okay, let's take a breather. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go, Libra? So that's what I'm choosing to focus on in my life, okay? You know, I want to have a family and a baby, so, and I also want to have a house. Well, which one can I control right now? Working towards that house, okay? Yep, there. Made a decision, and my guides are saying, you know, it's really important for you to sit down and think about, what is it that I actually want? What is it that I desire, right? You do need to have belief in yourself, and I talked about that in the Gemini reading, so if you feel guided to, maybe check that out, because I was talking about people having difficulties manifesting and needing to have the belief in their self and how to build that a little bit. I only touched on it because I didn't want it to be a long video, but if you feel guided to, maybe watch that, Libra. But the important thing is to figure out where it is that we want to go, or what it is that we want to manifest. So if I don't have this, but I want this, all right, okay. So then maybe picking one or two things. Don't pick a lot of them at once, because you're just going to overwhelm yourself and again spread that energy way too thin. Pick one or two things, and if you need to, ask your angels and guides to help you and say, angels and guides, you know, I would really like to have a house of my own. What is the next step that I need to do to work towards that? You can ask them that. They might show you some obstacles that are in the way, and maybe obstacles aren't the best word, because that sounds like something really insurmountable in a way, but for some of us, it's just having that belief that we can do so. Maybe all of a sudden you have this idea that, you know, can help you make an extra $300 a month that you can put towards saving for a house, you know? Like, there's so many different things that this could be, but I highly encourage you, Libra, to decide what it is that you want and to ask your angels and guides to help you get there, because that's what I'm doing right now, and it seems to be working out. So far, so great. So this is about a change in mentality, Libra. This is about a change in focus and using that energy that you're putting out for good, okay? For good. Okay? Let's not beat ourselves up for what we don't have. And let's instead encourage ourselves, be our own cheerleader for what we're working towards, for what we're building in our life, okay? I really hope this makes sense. This is big, Libra. When we have that change in mentality, we can be unstoppable. You have that change in mentality and that belief in yourself, and you'll be unstoppable. Okay, Libra? So the last thing I'm just going to say is, where in your life do you need to change your focus, change your view of something, and what is it that you want instead? Okay, you can change your view of past events, right? That is really positive. But if you're beating yourself up about current circumstances, then that's, okay, what can I do about it? Where do I want to go? What can I do about it? Okay, Libra, I love you all. I hope you enjoyed this message. Let me know if it resonates. And thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I see you in the next video. Bye.